There are a lot of advertisers out there trying to do you dirty and sell you stuff that you don't actually need, but I mean, we all knew that. But what you might not know is the supplies that you actually are going to need to do your schoolwork in college. So I am here to tell you what I used throughout my freshman year of college, the only things that I found that I actually needed for my classes, because there really wasn't that much. So here are the supplies that you actually need for your college classes. First off is the biggest and most expensive item, but in my opinion it is the most essential and necessary. That is a laptop. This is mine. Because laptops are so expensive, not everyone can afford one, and if you can't, generally your school is going to have computers available to you in some of the buildings and in the library, which you can use. But if you can't afford one, I recommend definitely getting one because it was my most used tool my entire year. Next is a hard drive or a flash drive. You gotta store stuff, you gotta back stuff up. You don't want to learn the lesson the hard way of keeping something only on your computer, because if you lose it, it's gone. Unless you have it saved on a flash drive. Also, it is great for if you need to go like take something and put it in another computer to print it out or whatever. Just flash drives, hard drives, really important. Using film and video as an example, if you have a major like that or something that you have to store a lot of video files or just really big files, you're definitely going to want a hard drive because you can get more space. Mine is 2 terabytes. You don't necessarily need that much space, but 1 terabyte at least is something that you're going to want to look into if you have a sort of file heavy major or minor, or if you think you might and you're not sure. A notebook is next. You don't need the big clunky chunky binders taking up a bunch of space in your backpack. You just need a notebook or multiple notebooks. I just get a 5-subject notebook, 1 section for each of my classes. They have the little folder parts in here. Keep loose papers in that part, take your notes in the notebook part, and you're good to go. You don't need binders or any of that stuff. Folders. I don't use a ton of folders. I use 2. I have 1 for extra schoolwork and 1 for administrative type stuff. And I just use these file folders that I got at Target. You can use any kind of folder, it doesn't really matter. You don't even necessarily need them. I just like to have them in case I have any extra papers and I don't want to just throw them in my backpack. I want to be able to keep them organized. That's why I have a few of those. Pens for writing, pencils for test taking, and highlighters for highlighting. These are the 3 types of writing utensils that I use. I take my notes and do pretty much everything in pen, and then I take tests on Scantrons in pencil because when you use a Scantron, you can't use a pen. You have to use a number 2 pencil, so I use this mechanical pencil. And if I need to highlight something for some reason, I just have 2 different colored highlighters. Headphones and or earbuds. Earbuds are a definite, you need them, not just for schoolwork, but just to keep your sanity. Headphones are more if you have a major that requires you to need really good ability to listen to audio, if that made sense. Like if you're an audio engineer, or you're film and video major, or you're some sort of sound major or music industry major, you're gonna need good quality headphones. A stapler for stapling. Some professors take points off if your paper isn't stapled. And if they don't have a stapler and you don't have somebody in your class with a stapler, then you're kind of screwed if you don't have one yourself. So just having one is a good idea. And a calculator for calculating. You're definitely gonna need one if you have a math class, and I can't think of a single major that doesn't require you to take at least 1 math class. For some reason, I don't know why you need math in most majors, but whatever, you have to take it. So, calculator, necessary for that. This is the TI-84 Plus that I've had since middle school, and it has done me well for many years. If for some reason you don't have to take a math class in college, like you tested out of it or you took dual enrollment AP, whatever, in high school, then you don't need one. But if you do need to take math in college, then you're gonna need a calculator. A backpack, obviously, because you're gonna need somewhere to put all the things that we just discussed. I got mine at Costco, I think. Lasted me the entire year without falling apart, which is very important. Getting you just a sturdy backpack that's gonna hold all the stuff that you're gonna need, because you gotta include textbooks in this. You're gonna have to buy textbooks for some of your classes. A good solid backpack, very crucial. You don't want to buy a cheap one that's going to fall apart on you, because that's not fun. And lastly, if you have anything that you specifically need for your major, you're probably going to want to look into that. I'm going to use my film and video major again just as an example because it's what I know. Film and video students have to use cameras, editing software, microphones. We need all sorts of stuff. So just using that as an example, I don't really know how many majors you actually need certain stuff like that. I just know the communications department you need a lot of sort of stuff like that. And one that I used, but you don't necessarily have to have it, is an agenda / calendar of some sort. I don't know where mine is, so I can't show you it as a visual, but you know, just like a daily planner. You don't need one of them, but they're nice to have just to list all the stuff that you have to do, all your assignments, just to keep track of everything like that. It's not necessary though. Just adding that one in as a little bonus. But that's everything you need for college school supplies, in my opinion. That's all I used. I mean, I didn't use anything else. It seems like you really need a lot more than you do when you're going into it, but you really don't need that much. If you showed up to class with a pen and a piece of paper, then you're doing better than some people, so you'll be fine. If this video was helpful, give it a thumbs up. If you want, you can subscribe to me for more college related content and other types of content. I post stuff every Friday, or at least I try to. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye guys!